Hi guys, I'm here today at the supermarket to answer a question. What is a carb? I didn't realize that people didn't really understand what carbs or carbohydrates were until the other day a friend of mine posted on Facebook that she was looking for some new low-carb breakfast ideas, and people started posting about oatmeal and fruit and try this quinoa casserole that I make, and I realized like nobody realized those things are all carbs, like 100% carbs. So I wanted to come here and just walk through the supermarket and show you what is a carb, isn't a carb, where you can find protein, fat, all that. But one other kind of personal reason why I wanted to come here to the supermarket today and document this was because this is actually the first grocery store that my husband and I came to together the day that we moved into our first house together. And you know, we started from scratch, we didn't have anything, and we kind of came out to the store and we were like, I guess we should have groceries in the house. What do you like, orange juice? This was like 13 years ago, so it's okay that we had orange juice in the house. But I wanted to kind of document this as well because this store is closing in a month and it's kind of nostalgic to us. So hopefully we'll get that on tape as well. But let's go on inside and see where you can find carbs.
So let's start with the easy part. All of these cakes and cupcakes and breads and cookies that are in the bakery department are obviously filled with carbs and sugar, so just avoid this whole area, as enticing as it might seem. Anything that's made with wheat will be high in carbs. Another easy one though is the meat. So as I had mentioned in a previous video, your body and animals' bodies are made out of fat and protein. There's no carb that goes into making up meat. So meat is always a safe bet. There's actually some people who follow a low-carb lifestyle where they eat only meat. So the only thing to be a little careful of is something like sausage or something that's more processed, because you'll probably find this one only has 1 gram of carbs, but they do add sugar or some other fillers or materials in here when they process meat. So just be mindful of that. But if you're just getting straight up meat, it shouldn't be a problem. That should be just protein and fat. Now, fruit has sugar in it, and so even though it seems like a natural type of material, it still has carbs from the sugar. There is fiber, and that kind of balances out, so I'd rather get my carbs from a piece of fruit than from some candy. Leafy greens like lettuces are totally good, so eat all the lettuce, peppers, cucumbers you want. Again, more leafy greens, broccoli, that's all good. Mushrooms are great, celery, all this is fine to have on low carb, and it gives you fiber that you need as well. Cauliflower actually is great to have. We use that as a substitution for a lot of other things. Avocados are great because they have fiber and they're high in fat. Tomatoes, you have to start being a little careful because they do have sugars. And here's some dried fruit. So obviously that's fruit that's got sugar in it, especially if it's dried, it's kind of concentrated. Potatoes are a starch, which is a carb. So you're going to need to avoid potatoes and also onions. Now, tuna fish is high in protein, and that makes it a really good low carb thing to eat. I don't eat seafood, but tuna's good if you do. Beans are high in fiber, but they're also high in carbs, especially starchy ones like garbanzo beans. You can see these are pretty high in carbs here, and not a lot of fiber to balance it out. Rice is another one of those that is probably an obvious no. It's a grain, as well as pasta. Pasta is made with flour or wheat, so I'll pick one up and show you. It's pretty high in carbs. Now there are low carb pasta options, but this is 40 grams of net carbs in a serving of that particular pasta. Peanut butter is another area where it's kind of a if it fits your macros thing, so take a look and just make sure you're eating peanut butter that is higher in protein to make it worth the carbs. Mayonnaise and salad dressing for the most part is pretty good, but again, just watch out for added sugars. This ranch dressing I use, and it has 2 grams of carbs per serving, which is worth it to me because I love ranch dressing, but it does include sugar in the ingredients, you can see. So again, just eat with caution. Tomatoes, again, are kind of out, especially all these canned tomatoes that sometimes have added sugar. The one type of tomato you might see in low-carb kind of recipes is tomato paste, and that's because it's a little bit more concentrated of a flavor for the amount of carbs. Bacon, of course, everyone on the low-carb diet loves their bacon, but again, as you get into these sausages and bologna and other things, watch for those extra fillers and ingredients that could add carbs to the meat. Eggs are a great source of protein, and even some of these like egg beater substitution products, just double check the ingredients, but it should be the same as just having a regular egg. So you can see this one is just 1 gram of carbs per serving. Now, milk is a tricky one because you would think milk wouldn't have many carbs, but there's actually something called milk sugars. I'm not sure if you'll be able to read it, but this 2% milk has like 13 grams of carbs in a cup because of those milk sugars. So you might want to look for some kind of substitution if you do want to just drink a glass of milk, but a lot of low-carb recipes call for heavy cream. Cheese and cream cheese is another area where you just want to take a look at the nutrition label to make sure, but this one you can see is actually relatively low in carbs. There's no sugar in this cheese, so I love me some cheese. Some people do just avoid dairy though. And yogurt is another area where I think people get confused because yogurt seems healthy, but most yogurt includes those milk sugars, and especially like these flavored ones and fruit ones and ones that come with different toppings are so high in carbs. So this is a blueberry Greek yogurt, and you can see it's 17 net grams of carbs in this cup of yogurt. So the only type of yogurt that I'd recommend is a full-fat plain yogurt, and you can add your own other fixins to it if you want, but try to avoid.
So whether you're following a low-carb lifestyle or not, I hope that you found that useful and informative. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post about food and shopping and all kinds of different stuff, so I know you will enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.